Hello, this is Ron Paul with your weekly update for Monday, March 31st. Last week, Congress overwhelmingly passed a bill approving $1 billion in aid to Ukraine and more sanctions on Russia. The bill will likely receive the President's signature within days. If you think this is the last time U.S. citizens will have their money sent to Ukraine, you should think again. This is only the beginning. The Congress-approved $1 billion for Ukraine is a ripoff for the American taxpayer, but it's also a bad deal for the Ukrainians. Not a single needy Ukrainian will see a penny of this money, as it is to be used to bail out international banks who hold Ukrainian government debt. According to the terms of the International Monetary Fund designed plan for Ukraine, life is to get much more difficult for average Ukrainians. The government will freeze some wage increases, significantly raise taxes, and increase energy prices by a considerable margin. But the bankers will get paid, and the IMF will get control of the Ukrainian economy. The bill also authorizes more U.S. taxpayers' money for government-funded democracy promotion, NGOs, and more money to broadcast U.S. government propaganda into Ukraine via Radio Free Europe and Voice of America. It also includes some saber-rattling directed the U.S. Secretary of State to provide enhanced security cooperation with Central and Eastern European NATO member states. The U.S. has been promoting democracy in Ukraine for more than 10 years now, but it doesn't seem to have done much good. Recently, a democratically elected government was overthrown by violent protesters. That is the opposite of democracy, where governments are changed by free and fair elections. What is shocking is that the U.S. government and its NGOs were on the side of the protesters. If we really cared about democracy, we would not have taken either side, as it is none of our business. Washington does not want to talk about its own actions that led to the coup, instead focusing on attacking the Russian reaction to the U.S.-instigated unrest next door to them. So the new bill passed by Congress will expand sanctions against Russia for its role in backing a referendum in Crimea, where most of the population voted to join Russia. The U.S., which has participated in the forced exchange of borders in Serbia and elsewhere, suddenly declares that international borders cannot be challenged in Ukraine. Of course, those who disagree with me and others like me who are less than gung-ho about sanctions, manipulating elections, and sending our troops overseas are criticized as somehow being unpatriotic. It happened before when so many of us were opposed to the Iraq War, the U.S. attack on Libya, and elsewhere. And it's happening again to those of us not eager to get in another cold or hot war with Russia over a small peninsula that means absolutely nothing to the U.S. or its security. I would argue that real patriotism is defending this country and making sure that our freedoms are not undermined here. Unfortunately, while so many are focused on freedoms in Crimea and Ukraine, the U.S. Congress is set to pass an NSA reform bill that will force private companies retain our personal data and make it even easier for the NSA to spy on the rest of us. We need to refocus our priorities toward promoting liberty in the United States. Thanks for calling this update. A new update is placed on this number, 888-322-1414, every Sunday. The written text can be found on my Ron Paul Institute website at ronpaulinstitute.org and on my Facebook page. Thanks for listening.